Imagine waking up to a beautiful Caribbean morning. The sea is calm, the streets are busy, children are walking to school. 2 minutes later, nearly an entire city is dead. This is the story of Mount Pelée, the volcano that destroyed Saint-Pierre and caused the deadliest volcanic disaster of the 20th century. In 1902, the French island of Martinique was one of the jewels of the Caribbean. Its largest city, Saint-Pierre, was known as the Paris of the Caribbean. Nearly 28,000 people lived there. Elegant cafes lined the streets. Merchant ships crowded the harbor. Wealth from sugar, rum, and trade flowed through the city every day. Towering above it all stood Mount Pelée. The volcano had erupted before, but no one alive had witnessed anything truly catastrophic. Most residents saw the mountain as a familiar backdrop to daily life, not a threat. Then, in April 1902, strange things began to happen. Earthquakes rattled windows, steam rose from the summit, ash drifted across nearby villages. Farm animals became sick. Residents reported hearing deep rumbling beneath the mountain. On May 5th, the danger became impossible to ignore. Part of the volcano collapsed into a crater lake. A massive mudflow rushed down the mountainside, destroying a sugar factory and killing around 150 people. Many wanted to flee, but officials and local newspapers reassured the public. Some believed St. Pierre's location would protect it from any major eruption, so thousands stayed. And some people from surrounding villages even moved into the city, believing it was safer there. At approximately 8 o'clock in the morning, on May 8th, everything changed. Without warning, the side of Mount Pelée exploded. A dense black cloud shot horizontally out of the volcano. It wasn't lava, it was something far deadlier. A pyroclastic surge, a superheated avalanche of ash, volcanic gas, and rock fragments racing down the mountain at hurricane-like speeds. Temperatures likely exceeded 500 degrees Celsius. The cloud covered the distance to Saint-Pierre in less than 2 minutes. There was nowhere to run, no time to escape. The city vanished beneath a wave of fire and ash. Buildings burst into flames, roofs collapsed, ships anchored in the harbor caught fire. People died almost instantly from the extreme heat and toxic gases. When the cloud finally passed, Saint-Pierre was no longer a city. It was a smoking ruin. Approximately 28,000 people were killed, making Mount Pelée's eruption the deadliest volcanic disaster of the 20th century. Rescuers arriving from nearby towns found streets buried beneath ash and rubble. Entire neighborhoods had disappeared. The destruction was so complete that many believed no one could have survived. But one story stunned the world. A prisoner named Louis-Auguste Siparis, also known as Ludger Silbaris, was being held in a thick-walled jail cell on the morning of the eruption. The small cell had only limited openings for air. By incredible luck, those stone walls shielded him from the worst of the heat and flying debris. Burned and injured, he survived for several days before rescuers heard his cries from the ruins. Although Siparis became the most famous survivor, historians now know that several people survived on the edges of the disaster zone and aboard ships offshore. Today, more than a century later, Saint-Pierre has been rebuilt, but the ruins of the old city still remain beneath the shadow of Mount Pelée. A reminder that nature's most devastating disasters often begin with warnings people don't fully understand. And on one ordinary morning in 1902, an entire city learned that lesson in less than 2 minutes. I'm Penny, and this has been another journey through time. Until next time, every place has a story, and every year has a secret.